Welcome, one and all. This is the Peace Dealer here with your episode 12 of Peace Talks, where I profile astrologers, spiritualists, basically anybody who has a platform and wants to express themselves. I had done this episode last week, but we had some technical difficulty. Now we're back. And this episode, I have a very special guest, being that it is Aries season. This is an Aries who has really stepped into his raw, radical identity. Doelow, how you doing? What's
going on? What's going on? Yep, and that's exactly best way to describe it. It's been a crazy transit. A lot of these things been going on. Pluto been in Capricorn. You know, that's already a square off already with me, and it's like then Uranus in there, so it's like I'm being gradually pushed through changes. And you know, I even think Neptune is even in Pisces a little bit, so that's kind of activating my North Node too. So it's like the universe is kind of forcing me to come up with new solutions to my problems, almost like but it's bringing me problems. It's like it's not even stuff like I'm trying to go out and get it. Like it's like actually bringing me problems. Then say here, okay, now figure out a new way to deal with it. And it can't be the like usual way you've been dealing with it, because that's not going to work this time around. And I even tried that and then caught resemblance of, oh yeah, not supposed to be doing that. Old habit, time to change. So it's like, got to deal with it. But you know, it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience. You know, that's all I can take it right now.
I like the way you worded it. It's so flawless as far as like exactly what's happening with the transits. I know as a Gemini, I have to deal with this square, but it doesn't directly affect me because I'm not a cardinal sign, so I can like see my Aries friends, my Cancer's friends is getting completely fucked. Like, no offense, like
right. And then you have like the opportunity to sit back and just like watch it, because actually
and learn from it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Venus is actually in Gemini, so that's like this comfort seat. It's like the comfort seat. You can kind of sit back and catch people problems and even help people out, because you could come from an area where it's like an outside looking in, so you can actually help people out. So it's like, yeah, things is deep. It's deep.
And I love how you said like it's bringing it to you. I watched a recent video of yours and you explained the square so well. Like you're doing your own thing and then something happens that you have to deal with. And I saw your video. You just recently came out of jail. It's crazy too, because I have some other homies that went through the same thing, and it's like Aries, Cancer, Scorpio, and Sag are on the battlefield. Like y'all are having to deal with these issues all day, every day, where we can like judge y'all and we don't even realize how serious it is what you're going through. So I respect that, man. Like especially still Cancer. Putting out content. Yeah, especially Cancer.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that because a good thing with you is you're not afraid to go heavily into these deep occultic concepts. I want you to talk about, before we talk about your channel, open up about being Archangel Uriel, because a lot Aries, Uranus is there. Like there's a lot that you express that when I see, I could totally tell, you know, you are Archangel Uriel outside of the things you'll read about it online. But it's like, it's almost like you stepping into your identity is triggering everyone else. Like it's forcing people to think outside the box. Like, yeah, what's it like to be Archangel?
Yeah, it's crazy because it's like a little story behind that. Because it's like when I started getting into this, I was already aware of the things that I started seeing when I started researching. Just like little simple stuff. Like when I look up Archangel Uriel, it says like it's aligned with fire. It's the light of it's the light, supposed to the light of God or something like that. But when I look at my own chart and see all these fire placements, it's like, that's crazy. Then the number for Archangel Uriel is 9, and my name numerology number is 9. The actual address on my house is 9. what else? It was my name numerology, and it was one other thing I forgot, but they all came up to 9. And I was like, that's crazy. And then it said I would be an inspiration, and influence my current surroundings with people with music, and especially like the F note and stuff like that. It's like that's the key. One of the first keys I learned to play on the piano. It's like it's just crazy, like that, like the sound I resonate with, like where I always put my finger on first. And before I even knew that, once I figured that out and started researching and started going back and looking on my own life, I'm like, wow, that's really crazy. So it's kind of like I had no choice but to start applying myself with it, because it was like looking at it and researching it helped me deal with my current issues. So obviously it was a reason for me to find that out anyway. You know, like that's how I look at it. It had to have been a reason. Had to.
And I could tell by the strength of your message too. Like it's so raw, it's so authentic. That's what I love about that whole Aries energy channel. Like you'll just start off a video on some like flight boss bitch. You know, you're not gonna censor yourself. You're gonna be you from beginning to end. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna filter your content for anyone. And there's a lot that is not missed. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot that you can gain once you suspend judgment. I really love how it plays out, because like even if you read the Bible, a lot of people didn't believe Jesus was who he was because they were expecting some king who was full of royalty, not some dude born in a manger. So it's like a lot of, you know, you stepping into your identity so radical helps others people. You know, I have a friend who was telling me he's the Nordic god that was the brother to Thor. And, you know, before I would be like, you're freaking crazy, but we're all having these little eccentric, well, not little, but huge eccentric realizations that really help to push the consciousness. And so you're also on Tauri's moon and a Sagittarius rising. All that fire is just so righteous, man. Where do you feel like
I'm actually a Leo rising, 17 degrees Leo rising.
Leo rising, I'm sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, Jupiter and my well, actually, see, my chart, all my chart placements, as far as my houses, land over the 10 degrees. So all my actual houses are where they're supposed to be, but it starts in Leo. So Jupiter is in Leo, but it's actually been affecting my 12th house, which is the Cancer house.
Oh, so you're just now going through this like soul relaunch, huh? That's dope. Like, that's dope. Because
last year, it was like, I think it did a retrograde or something like that. I'm not sure, but it just, it affected both houses. Like I can see the effect I have on both houses. Just because I've been getting into a little bit of this other thing where people around me, like I see their sun signs or whatever like that, and specific sun signs affect the area of my chart that their sun sign falls in. And so I started developing another science where you can actually figure out a whole person's chart just by relating the situations you in with them with your own chart. Like say, for an example, a person sun sign maybe Virgo, and Virgo may land in your 3rd house. So that's your the communication house and whatever like that. So every time this person's around you, they activate some aspect out of your 3rd house. But if you want to take it a little deeper, say they do that, but every time you're around them, they might be scheming or something like that. And if they over aggressive with scheming, then you might can say their Mars maybe in Scorpio because it may be in your 9th house or something like that. You know, like, and then it activate that, and then you'll be like, okay, well maybe they're aggressive with this part, so maybe their Mars is right there. And you know what I'm saying? And then I put that to test, and a lot of time I was right. You know, it's tricky though. It's tricky because some people house placements is different in their own charts. But if it all equals up, like sometimes you can tell, you know. But it gets tricky when you have them overlapping houses. You know, some people have overlapping houses in their chart where they might have Leo in the 2nd and the 3rd house. So, you know, that kind of gets tricky, but you know, it still all falls in place, you know. Yeah, it's still all
definitely, absolutely.
I don't even know if I answered your question.
When
I start rambling, you know, sorry about that. I might not even answer your question, you know. Did I answer your question?
Honestly almost forgot what I
Sorry, but
asked.
I do that. Like I would start spiraling off and get into other things. So yeah, let me chill out. Sorry
But
with that. But
you did answer the question.
oh, okay.
You did answer the question. But yeah, well, for the next question, what got you into astrology? Because I love how you mix music and your astrology channel. You just kind of give yourself, very Aries. Like when they go to Doelow, the Pilotman, they're seeing who you are. So what really opened you up to astrology, spirituality, and to the point where you can just share free the world?
Well,
What started you on your spiritual path, which I'm sure with Jupiter is only just unfolding to bigger heights right now. It should be really exciting.
right. Well, I can say I grew up kind of spiritual a little bit because my mother's a Virgo, so we kind of went to church, but they kind of think kind of deep. So after a few times, she stopped going to church, so we both stopped going to church. But she always kept it in the household. Like she always made us think that, okay, just because we don't go to church, that don't mean we're not righteous. You can still have church in your own household. So development processes like that made me, in a lot of ways, look at things different, because I would be around like my peers and go to school and stuff, and they talk about what they do with their parents and stuff like that, and it wasn't quite like that for me. So it made me have another outlook on just spirituality, period. So I was never, when I looked at the Bible and read the Bible, I always looked at it to kind of like see it for how it really is, other than seeing it and, oh, you bet not question it because you're going somewhere. Like we wasn't raised up like that. We was always raised to be kind of skeptical a little bit. So, little skeptics. So that kind of carried on. And then once I start getting into like certain situations in my life, like real powerful changing situations, because before I knew about this, now that I just a little bit of research, my moon is actually in the fourth house, and my fourth house is Scorpio. So this is why I did it. It's been a lot of transformative situations within the household, like with parents going this way, drugs, uh, just a lot of drama, whatever like that. That I have you, that have you feeling alone in a home, but you develop a sense of there's no better way of handling being alone than being alone. Like you have a lot of people out here who don't want to be alone or scared to be alone. So when they are alone, they go communicate with other people or their friends. I was the type of person where it's better for me to be alone and learn about myself first, and then when I go out in my surroundings, expect nothing less and nothing more. So me having a lot of alone time made me do a lot of. I'm doing something right now. Me having a alone time is I'm doing something right now, yo. I'll holler at you. All right, my bad. But like
It's all good.
yeah, having that much alone time and developing my own self when I'm not around a crowd made me have other thoughts than what the crowd was doing. So those other thoughts got bigger and bigger till it just led me right into like my mom would bring home the newspaper. I started reading certain things, and that was just like sun sign type stuff. But that was like the everybody first little leap into it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
and this was at an early age, like 11, 12.
Oh wow.
So me just being into that already, and then when I go into the crowd of like a lot of my peers and my friends and stuff like that, they just have no idea about anything. So when I talk to people or whatever like that, it just be like people like me to come, like me being around and stuff like that, and that carried me getting into a lot of childish situations as a kid, but it allowed me to relate it to something. So that just as I got older and as I got older, I just got deeper and deeper and deeper into it because of this, just because of the situations I was going through, and just trying to figure out what's better ways to handle my situation other than even violence or anything like that. So I then came to a point where, well, I always been to a point I don't run or hide from anything, but I have basic knowledge on the situation, when to do and not to do things now. And like all of this helps. Astrology helps all of that. So that's how I got. That's really how I got into it. Really, just going through situations within the household and current areas where I was living and traveling and stuff like that, and it just opened my eyes. And then me getting into this too, also, that's where the Sagittarius moon comes in. You know, because it's like I look at everything like it's a learning experience. So that
Hell yeah.
program period, it makes me always want to apply it to something. And I was grateful enough that I could be natural with astrology and all that. So you know, it's just crazy. Like, and then there's a lot of natural stuff that occurred that just made me be like, okay, this just add up. The math just add up, and I didn't even know this was even existing. So that's another thing that made me really get into it, because a lot of truth that I was seeing in my real life appeared to show out with the natal charts and everything. Like crazy.
Yeah, I really like that about you and 13 Sun Signs Astrology, which I think he's a Leo actually, but both of you have that.
He would say he had Cancer.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Just
yeah, because it's a
because the
13
little
sign.
verdict, and I have beef with Vedic Astrology because today is actually Pluto the 13th, and reason why I say that is because we include Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune within all these, you know what I'm saying, within the natal charts. But there's a lot of things in Vedic Astrology where they discount it, they don't include it. And me personally, I think it's a like a underground, not underground, but a undertone type of conscious being that kind of spread out through a lot of humans that's trying to kind of make us try to forget about Uranus, you know what I'm saying, Pluto and Neptune. And they do that through sciences, like just by us only having Monday through Sunday. You know what I'm saying? That's the 7 planets. But it was one time where we included 10 days, 30 days, and it was 10 days a week. But for some reason we just got lost within the Gregorian calendar and all this, and lost science of that. And then now you got Vedic Astrology even trying to push those 3 planets away. So it's like it's an undertone veil that's out here that's controlling things. Like for real though, it really is. And they work their way through humans and all that.
I love the stuff you're bringing up. This is so true. A lot of people won't tell you this because we want to be diplomatic, but I really don't resonate with Vedic astrology for that same reason. Because as somebody who reads a lot of charts, every time I read charts, people always resonate with their Western calculations more. I'll even lie to people and I'll act like they're reading their Vedic chart and I'm reading their Western chart, and they resonate with it. So that's how I know they're full of shit. And then a lot of Vedic astrologers who have told you, KRS astrology, for example, he never used to include the outer planets. Now he's starting to include Uranus. Now he's starting to include Pluto. And that's not to debunk Vedic. Really what it is a lot of people, you could like become the awareness. So what a lot of people do is they want to become their Vedic sign. And if you check out the video I had about sidereal and tropical, Vedic is true to an extent. It maps out the progression. It maps out the progression of your soul on a higher cosmic level. So it's more for ages. Like Astrolata had expertly mentioned in her video. If you want to understand it, I would check out her video too. Another Aries lady. But yeah. I'm glad you so mentioned that. There definitely are forces out there that serve to like delude. It's just straight up delusion. I don't want to sound conspiracy theory, but as an Aries, I was going to ask, like, as an Aries, like, because you're on the front lines. Like, I'm only here to be the messenger, but you're the person that's actually doing battle against these forces. So like, tell us more, man. Like, what are you revealing? There's a lot of occult knowledge that you know that
I think I'll
shared until it's revealed. Like, that's why Cancer and Aries, they're going a lot for y'all because they have to silence y'all for what you've seen. It's like too much.
Right. I caught half of that. You kind of skipped on in the middle of that, but I kind of caught the last piece you said. You said as far as Aries and Cancers being on the front line or such. I look at it like we're bringing like a force field. It's like a and we're being used. It's like it's not even something like our choice. And I've been feeling that ever since a little bit into 2014. Things been becoming because I wasn't even really even talking like what I knew just a year ago really like that. I was doing little hints and putting it in my music, but I wasn't really expressing it until the little transit happened in 2000 after the little 2012 through 2013 was like a whole little breakdown of everything I was in for 7 years before that. It was like everything broke down. 2014 came. It was like a boat that broke down. Now, what do you do with the pieces? And it's like that whole 2014 year was just like broken pieces. 2015, I just found a freaking map or a letter or something like that that shows me a place where I can go get a new boat. So that's kind of like how I see it. It's like I still
Great
remember all the
analogy.
broken pieces that just happened, like just happened. But 2015 is it finally it like if I'm on a beach or something like that, the note just flew on the seashore, and I picked it up, and it just gave me directions how to go get a new boat. So it's like it's that little process right now, and in order to do that, it's like when you can't I can't go tell this person, that person, this person that look I got a place that I can go get a new. They're not gonna believe me because they think I just got this letter out the sky or something like that. So it's like they're not gonna believe me, but I'm sitting here trying to explain. Look, I have a way. Here's a new boat, a new way of doing things, a new way of this, that, and third. And it's just we're stuck in that process right now. It's like that little process. And then by it being like what still 0 degrees, but further in the 0 degrees of the age of Aquarius, that's the transition we're all going to deal with. Like believe it or not, this is one of the for us to be living right now and experience this. This is I don't think really a lot of generations experience this right here. Like, you know what I'm saying? This is really like we're stuck on a cusp as the age. Like we're on a cusp as an age. So right now, as a
How
whole,
many people?
go ahead.
Keep going. No, I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask how many people could do this like we're doing. It's exactly as you
Right,
said. Like we're on a
right,
cusp, and
exactly.
yeah,
So it's like by
it's
us being right there on
totally
the cusp,
revolutionary.
as a whole, you're gonna have a lot of people stuck in the past consciousness, and then you're gonna have a few people that the universe use as an anchor into the new age. But it's gonna look they're gonna be looked at as revolutionized and stuff like that, just because the percentage is still more of a percentage of the consciousness that's still stuck in transitioning the regular way. You know what I'm saying? Just transitioning, going with the flow instead of actually obtaining knowledge and actually trying to better themselves, like mentally, spiritually, all that. Like, and if you're not doing that, it's like you're just gonna transition just as slow as the age transition. But the universe is gonna already use certain people to issue in. So when the thing do finally turn over, it won't be like it's something new. It'll be like a process. It's always a process. It'll be like the
Mm-hmm.
little breakdown process, then a little build up process, and then that's just the way it works. But that's that's kind of like the energy. That's what it's forcing me to do now. Like by Uranus being right there right now. I'm 17 degrees Aries. Uranus is right there on my ass, like right there. What 16 or something like that degrees, and then Pluto squaring like I think right there. So it's like well, in Capricorn. No, it's not that far, but still it's just squaring. So it's forcing a change, and it's kind of making me I can't back down now. Like I can't even back down. Like even where places I go, the straight ghetto, I go to clubs, I do all that, and I kick the shit I'm kicking right now. Like that's the kind of energy is really on right now. Like I like a year ago, I just be a little slick and be kind of witty with people. But now it's a full on war right now. It's like and it's either like you with me or you not. Like as far as you know where I be going at in my little area in town, and that's how I approach everything right now. Everything.
I'm so glad you said that. Like everything you're saying is so relevant. Like, no, people have still yet to realize that we are steeped in spiritual war. This is, you can get it anywhere by anybody. Your closest friends and family can murk you in a spiritual essence and deny every single person that you feel you are. And that's worse than taking a gun to your head, because once your identity is stripped, you have no more power. So a lot of people aren't ready for this. They're still going to war with flowers and trying to make peace, and it's like you have to stand up for yourself. So what do you feel? First, what do you feel about the spiritual war? And then the next question I want you to answer is, how do you feel as an Aries your impact is going to be felt in this new age?
All right. So like,
and how what is your message to other Aries like you who can learn from?
Yeah. All right. You know, as far as the spiritual war, it's a kind of deep science to that also, because it's words. It's like war through words, war through numbers, then spirituality, and it all comes from like an intent and an energy. Like, for an example, you have a group of people right now that's trying to emphasize the number 13, and there's power behind the number 13 also. So you have a lot of, right now, by us being right in the cusp, you have a lot of people who's going to obtain to religion for their spirituality, but by us going slightly into the age of Aquarius, you're going to have a lot of people finding within themselves spirituality. So this is going to become a conflict. So right now it's going to become a war with who can describe, for an example, like I used the number 13. Right now it's going to be a war on who can describe the energy behind the number 13 the best. Or it's going to be a war of who could describe consciousness the best. It's going to be a war on who can describe, like, even down to spirituality. And religion is one of the top soldiers right now. You got politics. You have like a lot of gypsies, all kind of stuff, like witches, all that stuff. It's actually werewolves here. You look at them, they may look like a human, but they're werewolves, vampires, and they would suck your energy dry, like real dry. And
within one conversation.
And it's like you can't even. It's in the age we're in, and it's 2015. You can't even look at the specific person anymore. You have to look at the energy behind them, and by the consciousness, by everybody actually being in 4D right now. Like, actually everybody, just the people who's not aware of it, they're not aware of it to tap into it. But actually, as a whole, everybody's kind of in 4D. So it's kind of like when you can look at a person and look at them and they still 3D, you can't even hold them accountable for their actions in 2015. You just have to work with energies now. Once you're raising your consciousness to a certain level, you got to work around people now. Now you're dealing with actual beings and entities that's working through these people, and it's all going to show out. And this is going to the second question you asked. As an Aries, the way it's playing out for me within the spiritual war is, it's playing out for me to align myself with this movement, actually, with the raising your consciousness movement, and actually bringing to the light of people who still think in old paradigms and old programs and stuff like that. They need to be shown that there's another aspect, and whether they agree with it or not, because there's a lot of naive people here on Earth. So whether they agree with it or not, as long as they hear it or see it from someone, then that's kind of breaking down the old system in its own way within the people. And I feel like that's how I'm carrying out this mission, as far as and I kind of like my mission even better, because by me being into music and stuff like that, like, and my surroundings, and I'm with everybody else, all, like, even as far as the music everyone listens to, everything. It's like I'm not a social outcast at all. Like, I always been popular, everything. So anything I approach into my inner circles and stuff like that, people don't look at me like, oh, and just dust me off like, oh, he's just weird or nothing like that. No, people kind of, they look at it as like, oh, this is Doelow, oh, this is kind of silly. And then like they think I'm silly because I do it in a goofy way. But when they go home and really think about it, like, okay, he told me not to do that day, and that kind of did make sense, but on a whole nother level. So it's like I'm carrying out my mission in like my own way, but I don't like to tie myself down to religion or anything like that. I still go by like the non-conceptualist, and I believe in everything. It's a dilemma. It's a dilemma.
Yeah.
I don't go by anything.
Paradox.
I believe in anything and everything.
Yeah, there's power in that as far as, you know, being so secure with who you are. Damn, it got dark here real quick. But one thing I love that you said just now was that you really have to deal with energies, because a lot of, even myself, like a lot of people think they have control over their ego, but their spirit guides, other entities just pimp out their bodies like nothing. They have drug addictions. They have things that they rely on, and entities use this as portals to control you. So yeah, you can't really, you have to have compassion for people here now. It's like, you know, me included, you know, even I have to be held to a standard, but still, you know, be responsible for the energies I allow to mess with me.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because I was just going to say something like that. I was just going to say, like, and I don't want anybody to think that you can just get into this and then you just can think that you're over somebody. It's not like that. This shit takes over everybody. Like even me, even me. Like this is like I deal with it. It's an everyday struggle. It's an everyday struggle. This is not something like, oh, you got this much knowledge, so you can rise above this. I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, but this is for everybody. Like me, I have to reassure myself that I'm deflecting away energies and shit throughout the day. So this like, I don't want people to think that like some of these people they listen to or something like that, like they just have it all and they're not dealing with issues too. Everybody goes through it. Like no matter how much knowledge is out there, like there's always more knowledge to learn. You know, and that's one thing I learned.
So let's go into this deflection, because I know I'll walk around the city one day and there's just so much negativity that I have to push away. And I've learned that when I feel this negative emotion, it's my feeling matching the state of what I'm receiving to express it. And then I choose to be like, no, let me show compassion and not. So fill us in, man. Like, what are we dealing with? This is what everyone has in the back of their heads and people are too afraid to admit. But when you say they're vampires, shapeshifters, like you can go out in a day and there will be forces that willingly and directly prey on your energy. Right. So how serious is psychic self-defense to the person watching this video? What have you seen that we're dealing with, and humanity will have issues really, because there's over the next 2 years there's a lot of expansion, but there's going to be a lot of spiritual revelation in the negative side that, you know, people are going to have to release, because they're entertaining succubi that are just ruining their whole life because they don't even realize it exists, you know. Right. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's like a I would like to say it's like a gift and a curse, because it's like I can everything is like on a feeling state, like on a emotional state. Like I can wake up real angry, and throughout the day a lot of hardship will come. Then the next day I can wake up real happy and a lot of happiness will come. So it started making me think like whatever's taking humans over, and like certain, because there's always been energy beings out here, like from forever. Like this is we've been engineered with a lot of them. But it's like the lower a person's consciousness is, the easier it is for these certain beings to just jump in you and use your abilities to their advantage. And the higher consciousness you is the better you can deflect it. So it's almost like, for an example, I might just wake up and feel like I'm going to make $100 today. So I know there's no possible way I'm gonna make $100, but in my head, I'm not allowing that to be. I'm not allowing that to be what's in my head. Like I'm not even thinking about there's no possible way. I'm only thinking like I know I'm gonna get $100 today. What's gonna happen is you're gonna run into one person who may got $100 or who may come up with a scenario where you need $100. Then after that, you run into two people. Then you're gonna run into a person who's telling you you can't get $100 today. So that's like an energy being that just jumped right there and try to put that program in your mind that you're not gonna get $100. Now, once you build on that, now if you're naive and you low on consciousness, you're gonna take into consideration what that person said. So you're gonna look at it like, okay, well this person said ain't no way to make $100 today. You're kind of right, but I don't care. I still make $100. That's going to develop a whole in 2014 and 15 and then 16, 17. This is more important than ever. People have to have real self-control, more important than ever, because programs like that is going to develop and certain beings could jump in you and work on them thoughts to the point that you may take an action that by you taking into consideration of what he just said that you're not gonna make $100, you may take a specific action and walk a specific path that day that don't lead you to no $100 just by you having that thought. Like everything is like you could be driving and somebody you know go to school the same time you go to school. Just because you know they're going to be there the same time as you doesn't mean that day was actually the same as yesterday. The walk was different. The you might have walked on the other side of the curve instead of this curve. So that goes down to everything. So even thought processes. So if you develop a thought process in your brain of what this guy just said, things are going to happen where you don't. Now, if you absolutely block him out, dish him off that day, you never know. You might walk into a path or drop somewhere where you find $100. You might find it because you had the self-containment of just sitting there and fixing your mind, and it takes willpower. That's the power of your intent, willpower. So
that's also on the magician card, willpower.
Right. You put that as the magician card? I mean, you did a reading today?
The magician card means willpower and focusing your intent. Basically, everything you just said perfectly. Like,
okay.
Making sure your intent is so perfectly focused, it creates your reality.
Right. And now is the time to do. It's mostly important to do that right now. Maybe not 2012 and a little bit before. Maybe people could go with the flow and be a little druggy and more loose. But now things is tightening it up because even though we're going in the age of Aquarius, it's an air sign. It's still ruled by Saturn. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to apply Uranus with it, but Uranus is actually is aligned. It's not aligned with Saturn, but it's partially a lot of the same qualities. It's a lot of earthly qualities about Uranus. So it's just all that being influenced with Aquarius, it makes Aquarius hard thinkers, basically, because they're air signs. But by that Saturn and Uranus being there, it makes them hard thinkers. So a lot of Aquarius sometimes could come across non-sociable. Like they might not want to be social with people because they're overthinking. And so they want to be so unique or whatever like that. So that's why a lot of Aquarius come off like that. But just in the aspect as all of us, by us being in the age of zero Aquarius, that's going to influence everything. So it's like whatever you're thinking right now, which is the mental, which is air, is which going to come into fruition. Like we having all these new moons. I think we about to have another new moon in Aries. Mm-hmm. Like it's making you, it's enlightening us to think harder about the situations we're in, you know. And it's like if you're thinking about the wrong things, that's what's going to come about. And this is the time that's most important for that. People need to know that. People need to know it's very important to have willpower, and it's very important to have your mind fixated, not so fixated that you can't be changeable. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to elaborate and with other people's thoughts, but have your own content way of doing that. Therefore, you won't allow certain energy beings and certain other things to attack you and make you do something out of alignment that day. Like you might just And you know when you're not in alignment. Everybody, even people who's not into this, they know when you're not they know when they're not in alignment. They know when they're doing something they're not supposed to do. In a small or a large case, you could just be going the opposite way to the store, a way you never went before. You know, as some that's a non-alignment. But just on a small scale, like that doesn't matter. But on a small scale, that's a non-alignment. You feel different going to the store that way than you usually do. That's just like a small scale of it. So 2015, 16, especially 17. 2017 is when Aquarius is coming down. Yeah, coming
See,
down.
what you just said, we have not even talked about this, bro. Like what you just said confirmed what I downloaded the other day. Like the spiritual war is literally kicking off a few months ago, and it'll end like the end of 2017. Will end, but that phase is going to be over 2017, and that victory is going to come in where people are fully powered to be their authentic and unique selves. And I really love how you were saying that, you know, other people could, you know, influence your decisions. So if you're a water sign watching this, you need to pay attention, because water signs, the thoughts of water signs manifest the quickest because they're in water houses. And you have so much imagination. So Doelow, what advice do you have for people, especially water signs, who are influenced by energies, but they're wise and they make you think that it's your own thoughts? How do you help someone, you know, other than meditation, single out what thoughts are really theirs and what thoughts are, you know, an evil spirit or a negative entity that's not even bad, but is against your side on the war? Maybe you guys are friends in the dream world, but it's wartime, so they're gonna fight against you. What kind of guidance do you have for people to like know what inner spark is there? Because as an Aries, y'all have that on lock. Like y'all know who you are. So what advice for the rest of us?
Well, I would say, well, I can kind of run down all elements. Well, really, like for the water, especially for the water, I would say, like you said, meditation, that's one thing. But you know, you tell a water sign something like that, and they're gonna look at you like, well, why are you telling me I need to meditate? What's going on with you? Like it's like they stay on the offensive mode. And one thing I figured out about when I get around water signs is it's always a sense of it's in a way it's like they're putting out my fire, but they don't see it that way. That's just how I see it. But it's always every water sign I get around is a down tone. It's like they try to prevent me from doing something. Like I might just jump up spare in a moment one day and like, okay, I want to do a video. If I get around a water sign, I can guarantee they're going to come up with something of why I shouldn't do it right there, or why I should do it like this. Like, oh my goodness. So I can say, Scorpio. Right. So I can say for water signs, it's good for water signs to be in a good emotional state, and water signs should be to themselves and don't look towards outer perception to figure out what you should do, like, because people is not feeling what you're feeling. Like they're not, you may think everyone feel like you, but they don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's water signs. You should know that. Like, you know, Pisces got a little better understanding on that, so they can cry sometimes because they know this, but they can't stop the feeling. But it's like with the, you just water signs gotta know that everyone don't feel like you. You know what I'm saying? Then as far as the earth signs, I say earth signs, you gotta understand, no, everybody doesn't want to do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? At this time,
God, so true.
You know what I'm saying? At this time, everybody doesn't want to do what you want to do. And you may come off too strong, or you may attract people who come off too strong to you. And I want to say that for the water signs too. It's not just them. You can actually attract these things, like just by you feeling a certain state, because the natural way a water sign will feel, they, like, for an example, if they're feeling like someone should feel the way they feel, and if they can look at this person's face and look in this person's eyes and can tell that this person doesn't feel the way they feel, the water sign catches the attitude. Okay, now the water sign need to understand that it's not about that. It's now you just have to feel your way and don't care what another person feels. You have to just do what you have to do, and that way, if you feel like that in yourself, you won't attract no people who's coming at you like that. And that's the same with the earth signs. No, everybody doesn't want to do what you want to do, and everybody doesn't have to do the things the way you do it. Like you can sit there and explain to someone all day, like you should do it this way or do it that way, but everyone has their own way of doing it, and you have to let them have their. Even if you absolutely know what they're doing is wrong, let them do that and let them learn. So your words would be that much more powerful because they could look back and say, okay, yeah, this earthly person told me not to do that, and I did this anyway, but I see I was wrong. Let me call this person and tell them, yeah, thank you for telling me that. I know next time. You know what I'm saying? And air signs, air signs actually is kind of in a reverse from water. It's actually good to get a outer perspective of what you should do personally for that, and that's for the air signs, and that'll work in the air signs' favor because that'll link you guys to certain areas and certain communications with certain hierarchies and beings that'll open your eyes to other things and to see things, so you can just intellectually break it down and just know what situation you're stepping in. Know both sides off bat. So it's like you never stepping in a situation only knowing your own side. You know both sides. So actually all the air signs right now is very relatable to people right now. Because air signs have the understanding and could set aside their own personal thing right now and don't have to discuss that. They can just help this person out and have their own problems and know how to deal with it in their own head without needing the guidance of someone else. So I say for the air signs, it's just best just sit back and just think before any situation. Just think before any situation, because you can get gossipy sometimes and stuff like that, and that can put you on the wrong side of energy. And being on the wrong side of energy, you guys will start attracting, like for air signs, you guys will start attracting certain energies that you may not like to be around, but it's like juicy to hear, but you're not supposed to be involved with that, so that's what air sign. Then as far as the fire signs, it's like we have to harness our energy. We can't be too, because by being in the age of Aquarius, kind of all the air signs kind of have an initiative factor, but it's looking at all the fire signs. So it's like, for an example, I say, like, by being the age of Aquarius, as a collective, the whole collective consciousness is going to raise on an Aquarius level as far as into technologies and stuff like that. But the way it's going to be played out is in a Leo way. That's the way it's going to play out. Just like it was just in the age.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true.
Just like the age of Pisces, and everybody was in the dream state or whatever like that, but it got played out through Virgo. So that was the whole reason how a whole religion got based on the Virgin Mary and the Immaculate Conception and all that. All that can be traced back to time and planets and everything and the energy that's here on Earth. Just like right now, we're going into the age of Aquarius, which is the ruler is Saturn. So it's going to be a lot of demonic things going on right now. A lot of demonic things. Like,
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I'm going to interrupt you. I'm so glad you mentioned that, because everyone's hyping up this age to be an age of peace and happiness. And it's like, well, no, there's going to be a lot of happiness due to freedom, but the scientific community is going to freaking gain bravado too and make our jobs harder as well. So I'm glad you mentioned the demonic influence as well, because that's true.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of people's hearts are open, so they'll be more susceptible to it.
Right. Yeah. We just left the peace era. If people didn't get the note, we just left it. Actually, Pisces, the age of Pisces, that actually was the peace era. We actually got a lot of paradigms and programs with the age of Pisces, and from all of our elders passed on to us. A little bit of us now, but we're being able to experience a whole new world. But as far as the age of Pisces, that was actually that was the peace. That was
Yeah.
when religion and everything. I mean, we might have had a few wars, but people don't understand that it was a late degrees Pisces anyway. If you're born in this
Yeah.
time, even in that time, if you're 70 years old right now, you was born on a late degree, a very late degree. I think a malefic degree of Pisces. Like, and so that whole transition, that the whole Pisces age was the peace era, but we was at the end of it. So, but we're totally at the end. So, like, it's no more
Yeah.
peace, it's war.
Mhm.
But
Even the Bible says it. Even the
right,
Bible says it. Like there's going to be peace that's talked about, but like that's the end of the age. I mean, whether you want to interpret the Bible literally, meaning that we're all going to go to hell if we don't follow Jesus, is another thing. But that whole age procession is true. Like we're entering truly revolutionary times, getting where you fit in, because you can get completely decimated if you just don't
right.
evolve. You know.
Right. And people fail to realize that Venus is exalted in Pisces, and uh, Jupiter rules Pisces, and Neptune is the co-ruler of Pisces. So people don't realize how well the older people. That's why when you hear older people say "ain't nothing like the old days," what the hell are you kids doing? They actually can say that and actually mean it, because like that
Yeah.
was actually the end. Like that, you got Jupiter, Venus, freaking Neptune, the people, the hippie days, people getting high, all that was the days for them. We all these kids right
Mm-hmm.
now, the radical, super changing age right now. People just all kind of fights, killings on the internet, all kind of stuff is broadcast on a very wide sociable level because it's age of Aquarius. It's like
Mm-hmm.
things is going haywire right now, and then by us leaving all the beauty and the druggies and all that and stuff like that, we're gonna have a lot more harder drugs that the kids gonna be on now, just because of the age of Aquarius, and we got the Saturn and Uranus coming in, and with this whole age,
Well, kids are already smoking bath salt.
right?
They're
Like it's
already
all over
taking
the
bath
internet.
salt.
It's just
Yeah.
like it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And then it's like this is you can just see it. You can sit back and see it, watch TV, just see the changes. Like that's why it hurts me sometimes that time doesn't speed up, that everyone could just be a little higher, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's still gonna be a
Yeah.
little breakdown, but you know, just by it, we about to see like just like we left the beauty from the age of Pisces. People don't understand even in the Bible what Lucifer represented Venus, and every time in the Bible they represent Lucifer with coming with beauty or something like that, like or things like that. But what Venus gives you is it gives you like love, but at a cost. Like none of the planets are truly good and truly bad. Like it gives you like
Yeah.
a at a cost. Like you can't have too much of it, and it takes it away just so you can know what it felt like when it was first expressed. The love was first expressed. That's what like Venus do. And when we get into the age of Aquarius, with the Saturn, Uranus, it's like now we're switching over to where a lot of people are going to start gravitating more towards Satan. Satan. Like it's no right or wrong with anything, but when you we could break down education with the planets and everything. We could break down every religion with the planets and everything. We could break down science with the planets. Like I kind of figured out a back door to all these things, and it's like going into the age of when I look at the age of Aquarius and then I look at the ruler of the planets. This is when I sit back and look at it. I might smoke a blunt. I look back and I start thinking about things. So then it's like Uranus come in, Saturn come in. Saturn represents Satan in a lot of ways within in the Bible. Uranus and a lot of verdict or something like that. They would say that Uranus is the father of Saturn. So with people that already put me on the understanding of where the religion is going to switch towards. So if we break it down with the religion, people are going to start. You're going to see more and more worship of Satan, with Saturn. You're going to
Did you
see
know I just saw a news report where in Florida they had a bill petition so that the Church of Satan can pass out pamphlets to kids. Since
what?
Christianity can do it, you literally just confirmed this right now. Like in Florida, I think like they argued since Christians could send pamphlets, you're now seeing Church of Satan pamphlets being passed out to kids in high schools. So you're spot on, bro. Like, this is absolutely true.
That doesn't make any damn sense. Wow.
Nah.
That's crazy.
but it's as you say.
What they want equal rights or something?
Okay, no. It's not necessarily equal rights, but since the First Amendment dictates religion should be free, since if I have a kid in high school and Christians will send him pamphlets about the Bible, then I should be able to send free material and teach this kid about Satanism. You know, they'll have the choice. It's not going to be force-fed. They'll have the choice to do it, but it is now going to be there for them. Another question I want to.
You're breaking up.
Demon Clan, Age of Aquarius is the.
Sorry about that. You broke up. I didn't hear anything you said. It was. Okay, I see you now. There you go, right there. I didn't catch any of that.
Can you hear me now? That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, I got you now. Yeah, I see you.
Yeah, I see the frequencies playing games, but I was talking about there are 3 slayers of the zodiac. Aries is a demon slayer. Taurus is a dragon slayer, hence the Sagittarius scales of the dragon are in the 8th house, and the God Slayer is Gemini. So Aquarius, the age of Aquarius signals the resurrection of the demon clan. And a lot of exorcisms are going to be live. How do you feel that as a demon slayer, this activates your energies?
Exactly what I'm doing right now, bringing it to the light and showing people that that's actual visible. Like this is not a game. Like this actual, this like the people who make channels, like make stations and put it on channels, the people who's behind that, funding it, believe it or not, they're into this a lot more than what people think. Like they're deep into this, like very deep into this. So it's like, I feel like when I bring things to the light, it gets distracted. So that just develops me to have a program in my brain to know to go even harder. Like, and I like the way sometimes when I think is even to the little things like we might be talking right now and then I just get interrupted, right? Because it was something good that needed to get processed, and there's certain beings and things out here that block it off. So now, ever since that second, things slightly turned to the way it probably would have been, but it wasn't like that because it wasn't like that anyway. So that goes down to like all this, the people who's pushing this demonic things and stuff like that. All we have to do is bring it to the light, and I look at it like I bring it to the light the best way I can by exposing the true nature of it and what it actually came from and what it really is in a practical manner. So once I break it down what it really is in a practical manner, it's like you really can't use it. But at the same time, you still have 90% of the world that's locked in, and by us being such in the early degrees of Aquarius, anything new right now is going to entice the kids. Anything that's new is going to draw in people. Soon somebody come out with a new occult, a new type of Illuminati part 2 or something like that. Everybody's going to run to that and want to see what's going to that. It's like right now it's like a free for all. It's a spirit
where evil is like literally trending on Instagram, like evil fads and stuff. And I don't mean to put moral judgments and say evil is good, as well as I don't mean to fearmonger you. This isn't meant to make you afraid. This is actually a good thing because we're getting to step in our own power. We just need the awareness. And another thing to note, as Doelow mentioned, like, yeah, we're dealing with demons, but if you're expecting a horned figure, if you're looking for actual physical manifestations of these energies, it's in the television programming. Right. Demonic energy is Scorpio, Saturn. These are actual actions we take. So they're already in your head, in your psyche. These are very microscopic actions. We're not dealing with physical people. You know, our enemies aren't physical people. It's these energies that influence us every day and affect our behavior, our attitude, all that. So it's great that we have people like you exposing that. We're gonna end this call pretty soon, but I want to play one last game. Close it off. We're gonna ask each other 3 questions. I'll ask the first one. When you answer, you ask me. We'll do it that way. So this is my favorite question. What are your 3 favorite zodiac signs and your least 3 favorite zodiac signs?
Okay. I mean, I don't want anybody to get offended because I don't truly, because all you guys activate certain areas in my house. So I don't want anybody to feel like, you know, all you guys share a special part in my house. But if I would have to say, I would say the top 3 would be, well, first Aquarius. There's no specific order though, but Aquarius, Leo, and Aquarius, Leo. I say Capricorn. I say Capricorn. They look, and this list switches every other day. You know what I'm saying? But I say that's the 3 best. And I got a certain reason today why they the 3 best. We go the 3 worst. 3 worst is let's say Virgo. I don't like, Scorpio is like my Martian family, Scorpio, but it's tricky. It depends on it really depends on the other person's other placements of if I can like that Scorpio or not. So this has changed, but I'm gonna just put in Scorpio as another worst. So what was that? Virgo, Scorpio, and the third worst is this just late degree Sagittarius, not early degree Sagittarius, late degree Sagittarius. And there's a reason behind that. It's because they're over the galactic center, and people who are born around the galactic center this is my interaction, because then they fall into my 5th house. And anytime I try to get creative, they block it. It's like they are content with like religion, but like spirituality, like wherever they're into that, and they will oppose that onto you. Like I'm a little early degree Sagittarius, so it's like I look at things, but I look at it objective and put it all in one box, and then spread the books out to see what I'm working with. The galactic center take one book out of that box and fight every other book in that box from that one book, and try to let you know that all those other they're very smart, but they're smart because they know witty ways to make you really feel like this person is right.
Yeah.
So it's like
don't make that one book. Don't make that one book sound like all the other books came from that book.
Yeah. And my interactions with because I know a few late degree Sagittarius sons, so it's like my interactions with them always trigger that with me. It always triggers that. So it's like it's like. And then another thing, when I be around fire signs, it's like there's always a sense of competition. I don't feel that way. Maybe because my sun, moon, and rising and Mercury is in fire, but like most of my enemies are fire signs. Like it's just crazy. Like it's weird.
You hit the nail on the head. It's the competition comes from Leo and Sag. They always have beef. They always want to be better. So your Leo will threaten Sagittarius energy, but Aries is always detached. Aries is like, I'm the best. I don't need to compete with Leo and Sag. And it's usually just Leo and Sag. But yeah.
So yeah.
What's your question for me?
All right, question for you is I haven't thought about the question. Let me think about one. How do you feel about the transition? Okay, because Leo's in Jupiter right now, right? So how do you feel about how is it affecting Because actually, it's what it's like. It's not an opposite. It's what it's like a sextile to you, right? Yeah, so it should be like a sextile.
Yeah.
What is your zodiac?
It's 20 degrees Gemini, so it's
Gemini.
starting to sextile my sun.
No, so okay. So it's sextile. So how how do you see Jupiter going on right now? How do you see it? Like, because I've seen a lot of videos, because I know you probably, it's hard to break it down. Let me break it down. I've seen a lot of videos on the internet with people explaining Jupiter, and they make it seem like it's so so much benefits come from it or something like that. But I just see it as expanding a situation you're really already in. So it's like, but how do you see it as an air sign, and how does it relate to the air?
Amazing question, amazing question, amazing question. Number one, once Jupiter went direct, like 2 important Leos in my life just came back. Like Leo, I was starting to get to know, so they're up to something. Y'all Leos are up to something. I can already tell. But number one, this is like another episode in a row where Virgo is the least favorite. I think even a Virgo in another episode said they hated Virgo the worst. So this doesn't mean Virgo is the worst. I personally love Virgo. I just have to make fun of y'all for that. I just have to make fun of y'all for that because apparently people don't like y'all. But to answer your question, Jupiter in Leo is amazing for me because I'm such a mental creature. And what this is teaching me to do is it's literally showing me how past experiences has blocked me from expressing the thoughts that I have from my heart. Now, at the end of this transit, I'm going to be more expressive with my heart and my mind and the attitude that I have so that it will be nothing for me to sing in public, whereas before I'd be trapped in my head. Now, as far as how I feel about the transit, this is, out of all the Jupiter transits, this is one of the most demonic transits ever. Because you have to remember, we have Pluto in Cap, and we have Neptune in Pisces. So now Jupiter is making a demonic quincunx with like the 2 most demonic signs in the zodiac, which are pure by their own right, but when they get distorted by these light energies, what do? You have a lot of people opening their heart, believing in delusions, straight up delusions, and they're not going to realize how deluded they are until Jupiter goes into Virgo, and they've wasted so much time because they've been attaching. What Jupiter and Leo is teaching people is something is not meant to be just because you love it. That's what people have to understand. I get so many love reading requests. Like, oh, I love this person. Is it meant to be? Can we have something work with this? And a lot of entities are using your open heart to gain control of your soul. When Jupiter is expanding your heart so you can stand firmer in your entity, your energy. This is for Uranus, but a lot of people are using it for Neptune. And they need to know the subtle difference. So I'm really glad you asked that. It's a very powerful transit, but it's the most dangerous.
Oh, you hit it right on point. I caught a little bit of that. Hey, my heart kind of dropped when you said that Jupiter is making everyone learn that just because you want it doesn't mean like, oh my, it's like I don't even want to go into that, but yeah, that struck enough.
And it's so funny how it's opposite of Aquarius. The lesson is Jupiter is here to tell you can get it, but you need to detach from it because it's not your business. It's just your desire. So yeah, it's the most dangerous transit we're gonna face, but it's gonna reveal a whole lot. It's a great one to set out the war. So how do you feel about Uranus and Aries? How do you feel that Uranus and Aries will affect people when it's in the master degrees in the from 20 to 29? That's some crazy shit, I feel. But how do you feel it affect you and your other life?
I feel like it's going to be go time, and it kind of passed my little aspect a little bit, but I'm still gonna catch the resemblance of it, and it's going to be like go time, like from when it started in Aries until now was just like a process, because it was still kind of in even though it's an Aries, it just really came into the Aries natural house actually. So as a whole, everybody's personality is being shifted, like as a personal state, and everyone is like open to even acting in new ways, or maybe seeing new ways to act, or believing in new things. Like everybody is on a search to grab a hold of something right now. And as for me as an Aries, and by it being in Aries, everything that I already got a hold on to just expands. Like it expands, and it makes me want to turn it and change it into what everyone else is kind of feeling. Like, for an example, like what we're talking about right now, I feel like through music I will be able to get across to certain people. When I get into comic books, I will be able to get across to certain people. When I get into like movies, I'll be able to, like, it'll be the same aspect just in different angles. So it'll be like the same knowledge just put in a way that everybody can relate to it. Like, make it relatable. Like, I could come out with a song, me talking about killing 20 people. For some reason, something in it that I'm gonna try to do something in it that makes it align with what I'm talking about right now. Even if I have to explain it or something like that, like, I'm gonna make it align. So I feel like that's the Uranus energy right now. It's taking a person or a thing to spread into a lot of different areas to make it relatable to a lot of people in different areas. Like, if this person in this area don't think the same way of this person in this area, then this concept from Uranus and being in Aries, this concept need to come change whatever that concept is so it can relate to that area and this area. So that way it's just taking people to do that now. Like, and it's after 2016, 2017, it's gonna start taking events, like events that happen. And after that, world consciousness change gonna happen, and that's what the Uranus is really is showing me what it's coming to. Like, it's really is developing the science we already have from, like, the age of Pisces, all that, develop having that science and changing it, reorchestrating it so it can be relatable to this new consciousness we coming in, so everybody get a whiff of that one thing that's here now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Uranus and Aries is kind of like pushing for. So it's just doing a bunch of radical little stupid stuff right now to kind of spark little things, but every little thing counts. Even from this video we're having right now, that's contributed to the system breakdown and just the spark of something new from years to come. You know what I'm saying? From years to come. Like, even to astrology, this like, it's been on like a little rise from 2012 to 2000 to right now. It's been on a skyrocket rise from a little bit before that. Like, from everybody, like, it's even people I'm running into now, and they're telling me that, oh, I know my moon sign now. So it's like, yeah, it's spreading, it's spreading it, and that Uranus and Aries is doing that. And then Uranus is the ruler, is the co-ruler of Aquarius, and Aquarius is actually is what, like, the master of astrology as an energy. You know, Aquarius people might not play it out, they might not, but as the energy as a whole, and the 11th house energy that deals with astrology and large social networking. And
it is the actual energy of the cosmos and the stars.
Yeah, so and that's a large network. When we look up at the stars and the planets, it's a large social network going on between them. That falls right into the 11th house. Yeah, it falls right into the 11th house. So yeah, that's that. Uranus is coming in. It's strong. It's coming in real fiery in Aries right now. It's just all up in your face right now. You know, that's basically what it is. Like, everything is up close in your face. Even people, TVs, people converting straight to computers. A lot of people don't even have TVs in their house anymore, phones, anything. No VCR players, straight DVDs. Everything been on a transition for a long time, even in the late degrees of Pisces. So it's like right now, this, and then the Uranus being in Aries, and then by this being the age of Aquarius, it's like a sextile. So it's like, it's making it like, it's making it acceptable for drastic change. So when we go through all these drastic changes, it's not going to be like, oh, it's the end of the world. It's actually going to be acceptable. Like, people going to be actually ready. Like, people going to actually be like, okay, the world is changing. Woo-hoo. Opposed to it being like, oh my goodness, all this, like, like, for an example, if we go to war in America, it's going to be certain politicians that make it sound like we should go to war and it's okay to go to war. Like that's how it's gonna play out. And it's like bad, but I mean it's good. It's good in a way too because it's gonna break down that. Like I honestly think this is gonna be the last president. I think we're gonna have something else. It might not be a king or a queen or something like that. Go ahead.
Well, put it this way: the last time Pluto was in Capricorn, we wrote the Constitution and we had revolution. So there really is going to be some new. I don't even think we're going to have like two-party political systems anymore. I think a third party may come up. It's going to be to the point where you don't even have to win the election. You just have to have a platform. You can bow out of the election early. Just be like, I just wanted to give y'all some truth. I have media coverage. Y'all are covering this. I just need to give you my message. Like it's going to be that cutthroat.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. That's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna experience that, and it's gonna be a lot of people that like this little evil stage we're going through, and you know, it's gonna seem like the light is dark and the dark is light. That's the way I can put it. That's what it's gonna seem like.
The last days. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly what it's gonna seem like.
Okay, so now it's your turn. I think that was my second question.
Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Oh yeah. What's your 3 favorite zodiacs and your 3 least favorite zodiacs?
All right. Just like you, it changes all the time. I've come into such a profound love of all the 12 signs. It's so hard. It's really hard to like ascertain what are your least favorite 3. But for now, my most favorite 3 are Aries, Capricorn, and Scorpio. And I say those 3 signs because they are the 3 signs right now that are just completely uncompromising. Like they're all about that truth. You know, Scorpio and Cap I used to hate, but now we seem to have the same goal right now. So it just seems to work out. And Aries, all the Aries in my life have pointed me toward the right direction because all they give me is no fluff. They give me the truth. You know, it doesn't matter if they like me or not. They're just going to keep it real with me, and I respect that so deeply. And then the least 3 favorite signs that I don't like right now is Pisces, Libra, and I want to say Cancer, but I'm going to say Leo. And the reason why they're my least favorite is because these 3 signs are the most powerful right now, but they're holding back their power. They're letting other people's opinions get in the way of what they have to do. They're not shining their light as bright as they can. Libra is being more of a people pleaser than they usually are when they're supposed to enforce a lot of the laws that are going to liberate us. So I don't say that out of hate. I'm saying that because they're so much better than they're acting right now. And them holding themselves back because they're afraid to express their glory is fucking the rest of us up. So, yeah.
Right.
And I know that's going to evolve. I know after this Jupiter and Leo season, and once Jupiter hits Libra, it's going to change everything. So I'm excited about that. But yeah, the last question I have for you is, what can we expect from your channel? What do you, where are you guiding your channel right now for the viewer who is new to you? What could they expect to see on your channel moving forward?
Well, I'm gonna be quite honest with you. I'm kind of that Uranus and Aries. I'm kind of in chaos right now. Like I kind of like wake up right now and think about what to do. Like, but I want to come up. I want to start dropping like every week my little sciences like time astrology, and I want people to expect that. Like I'm gonna start doing some day-to-day astrology, just basic planetary wherever all the planets at today, because I'm gonna start this little 10-day month thing, and hopefully I can get the world to get on this little ball going where we start adding Pluto Day, New Day, and U Day, which is Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto days, which is 10-day weeks. And I'm gonna go ahead and start next week on Sunday, and then start going and expressing how we should play out the day and the roles of the day through actually the day, what kind of day it is. It's like today actually we would say it's Monday. It's Pluto for me, but we would say it's Monday. And you know, Monday is what moon day, and you know, have to your height of the day should be your moon sign, stuff like that. But I want to get deeper in that for a week. I want to use the my local astrology, the clock astrology. I want to I'm gonna start bringing that weekly, because show people how to actually know a person rising sign. I actually can tell a person's natal chart, how you can read someone's whole natal chart just by them telling you their time and date, and without you having to go to a calculator or stuff like that. So I want to drop that science. I'm gonna start dropping videos on that to show people how to do that. And another thing I want to do is on my page, and I wrote down some stuff on I want to do on my page, but not actually what I do on my page, but just ideas. I like to write down a lot of affirmations and shit like that. Basically that's it though. That's all I came up with today. But yeah, I'm gonna start that though. I'm gonna start the clock astrology, which is like the sun is in Aries right now. So whenever the sun rises at 6 o'clock a.m., whatever like that, you know that the sun was rising in Aries. Now when at 6 o'clock a.m., when the sun is in Taurus, when we go into May and all that, 6 o'clock a.m., the sun will be rising in Taurus at 6 o'clock a.m. And then you go on every 2 hours, and then that's how you can tell someone's rising sign, because you know what I'm saying, going based on the clock. So you know, I'm just it's a lot of new science, a lot of new music videos, dropping the It mixtape, you know what I'm saying, where people don't know if I'm actually talking to it or saying it is what it is, or actually like the whole it's gonna come cohesively, and it's like a blend of these energies that I'm going through right now and making it relatable to like average listeners. But when they really start to know me and start to know what I'm talking about just in videos like this, then they could go back on songs and really break it down. So just that's pretty much what I'm doing right now, you know. And
the Pilotman can come and make the karma switch.
Yeah, and that's pretty much it. What they can look for on my page. And, you know, after that, try to ride that flight. That's it. Try to ride that motherfucking flight. You know, I said some shit to Fuck Master Flex. He respond, and but he ain't. I made up my own edit. So he ain't put my edit out, but he said he was gonna do whatever like that. So I don't know if he want money or whatever like that. But I got whatever you want. If you trying to holler at me from Flex, if you watching this, what's up? But other than that, yeah, you know my page. Your page.
Flight boss.
Expect chaos, chaos, fiery chaos until I can chill out until the sun going Taurus or something like that, and then I can just chill out and sit back and relax for a while without being so tense. Which that's gonna be for a while though, because we still got all this fire with Uranus and Jupiter and all that. So, you know.
Oh yes, just know that after fire, there's always earth. So there will be order that comes out this chaos. I don't usually ever go over an hour, but this episode was so fucking awesome. Thank you so much, Doelow.
Much love.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna put your YouTube link in the description box, so if y'all want to check out his channel, you can do so. Stay tuned this week. I just corresponded with Nadia Shah. She's going to let me know what day she can meet with me. And I'll also have the next guest scheduled on the broadcast list. So, yeah, like I said last episode, if there's anybody you want me to talk to, send them a message and ask them if they would like to feature. Tell them that you want them to feature on my Peace Talk, so that when I email them, what I want you to do is ask them, and after you ask them, ask me. So when I email them, you know, it's like they already expect me coming to see them, just so you know, there's a lot more smoothness to the thing. So that's all I have for this week. Thanks again, Doelow. I really enjoyed this talk, and I'll see y'all next week.
We only deal with peace. Light balls, bitch.
Yeah, that's what it do. Flex.